Firewatch is, depending on what time you play it, a horror game. It's a game about isolation, paranoia and cabin fever, but also about the gorgeous views of a Wyoming country. It's also a game about regret and adultery. The game follows Henry as he takes a summer job as a fire watchman, living by himself in a large forest and spotting fires. His only companionship is a woman named Delilah, who lives in the other watch post. Henry and Delilah soon find out they aren't alone as two young girls go missing and old mysteries rear their ugly heads. Developed by Camto Santo and composed by Chris Remo, its 2016 release was met with high praise, and this video will be just a short one for you as a little treat. You're welcome. The gameplay is a walking simulator with only a few extra mechanics. See, it relies more on its emotional dialogue and its stunning map. There is one puzzle in the game, and it is reliant on whether or not you know left from right. The game is a short one, however, as its story unravels I found myself deeply unsatisfied. But the game is also more about, the forest itself. The story follows the life of Henry, a married man looking after his wife with early onset dementia. He struggles with her not remembering him and puts her in a home near her family and takes a job in the summer far away from everyone. Delilah is his only contact with the outside world for a long time. She's been working there for a long time by the time we arrive. The Wyoming landscape becomes almost like another character as the game goes on, eventually being engulfed in flames. On his first day, he's asked to investigate illegal fireworks being set off in a lake by some drunk teens. He breaks their stereo, and on the way home he runs into a man who blinds him with a torch before making his escape. He returns to his tower to find it is completely trashed, presumably by the two girls. On the second day, Delilah sends him to check out a faulty power line, which he finds deliberately sabotaged. He goes to find the teens' campsite and is wrecked with a note to Henry. On his way home, he finds a backpack belonging to Brian Goodwin, which is filled with rope. Delilah revealed that he was the son of Vietnam War vet Ned Goodwin. Ned was a heavy drinker and an outdoorsman, a sharp contrast to his somewhat nerdy son. Delilah was quite fond of Brian, so didn't report his presence, breaking the rules. The two girls are missing, and Henry and Delilah falsify a report to absolve themselves. Months pass, and Henry finds a clipboard containing a transcript of everything Henry and Delilah have ever said to each other and a radio. He's promptly knocked unconscious. In a meadow mentioned by the clipboard, he finds a fenced-off governmental area. He breaks in and finds loads of surveillance equipment and a wave receiver that begins to promptly beep. Upon investigation, Henry finds a black box. As Henry hikes back to his tower, someone sets fire to the camp that he was just in. Henry uses the device to find a backpack in a cave which contains a key to get further into the cave. When Henry returns, he finds a tape taped to his door, which is a recording of the two talking about burning the surveillance station down. The next day, someone impersonating Henry calls into the station and claims that Delilah knows the cause of the fire. This increases the paranoia and unease between the two. Henry uses his key to enter the cave, but someone locks the door behind him. He finds the body of young Brian Goodwin in the cave, very decomposed. He apologizes to Delilah and tells her to call it in. She does, and they get recalled for a briefing. As Henry is packing up to leave, the wave receiver begins to beep again. As he follows it, he finds a rock painted with his name on it, a tape and a beeping collar. He listens to the tape, which explains that it was Ned who set fire and stalked them, and he did it to get Henry away from finding his dead son. Ned retreats into the forest, never to be seen again. Helicopters come for both Delilah and Henry, and they both say goodbye. The game ends with a slideshow of the pictures you took on Brian Goodwin's disposable camera. Delilah has a feisty and flirty personality, getting along well with Henry, and eventually opening up to him about her past relationships. She's hesitant to come to Boulder and turns him down. Their months-long romantic affair was radio only. Henry is only in Wyoming because he wants to escape from his troubles, his wife and her illness. He flirts openly with Delilah in a desperate attempt to start again with someone new. Ned is a sad old man, unable to lose the memories of his past and stuck with the rotting corpse of his son. All three of the characters tend to go a little bit mad, just in their own separate ways. The game is massively stylized, a great way to extend the graphical fidelity of your game. It seems almost cartoonish in its visuals. The trees and the fire and the lake all look amazing. The music is gorgeous and always suits the scene very well. Sometimes it's a somber reflection on the death of the child, and other times it's a fun jaunt through the woods. I'm usually quite the positive guy, but Firewatch was deeply unsatisfying to me. It was a jumpy game, and it ended poorly in my most humblest opinion. I did like the game, I just found myself sort of bored by the end. I just didn't care. I know it's bad, but I wanted Delilah and Henry to, get together, start again. And that probably says more about me than it does the game, but it is what it is. 5 out of 10. I would have a hard time recommending it. Whew, it's quite a sad one to end on, really. So, like, subscribe and all that, and I love you dearly, and just you.